Good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson getting ready for a live update coming up here at 6:33 as promised on my notification right to your Hutch's weather app. So let's get started here real quickly. And I'm just loading everything up and making sure everybody is up and ready to go here and waiting for a couple people to join on. First and foremost, good morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. It's winter again, heading out the door. You can see out the window, even in Fargo, Moorhead, that there is some blowing snow out there. And I did measure. We got a little bit of it on the ground, but we're going to check those roads and get you out the door with the information that you need to start your day. So thanks again for watching. Let's get going right away. And we're going to start with a look at what's going on with that radar. Here we go. Now, all of these blue stickers out here in western South Dakota, we do have some wind gust reports we'll go over. There's a batch of snow or a band of snow that is set up out to the west. There's a band of snow set up over the Red River Valley. And is it strange to you that it's just around the radar sites that we're seeing the snowfall? Well, no. Aberdeen, snow showing up in your area. What we have going on is there's a little bit of snow falling out of the atmosphere right now, but what we also have is a lot of gusty wind. There's another radar out in Duluth, and lo and behold, looky there, we have snow showing up near the radar sites. These winter systems have shallow clouds. They go up at a little bit of an angle, and it doesn't take long for them to get up over the top of these snow-producing clouds. So we're not seeing much going on everywhere, but there are likely some bands here, a band here, and a band here, like we saw on the forecast model of snowfall going on right now. So I-94, Highway 2, all the way out into Minnesota now, seeing this snow making its way through, and there's another batch in Duluth where we do have some snow measurements, and I have one for you. We'll go over this latest data information that we have available here, and let's start with what's going on in Fargo. No snow measurements coming in, but Hutch has your first one. I have about 7/10 of an inch of snow that I've been able to measure out there. So we have a very light, fluffy snow, and it's pretty cold out there too with those winds gusting. In and around the Duluth area, a couple of these measurements that have come in so far, let's check them out. So as we hover over that one, 6 inches of snow already in the Duluth area overnight. And as we look off to other areas of Duluth, that was in off to the east of Superior there on the south shore, 3.5 inches closer to Duluth being reported there, and another 3.3 inches on the other side. And the wind is the other factor today. Again, we're not going to see buckets and buckets of snow for everybody, but this wind is going to be most terrible in the western Dakotas and terrible enough even with a little bit of snow to reduce your visibility. So as we look at some of these wind gusts, Buffalo, South Dakota, 69 miles per hour. We talked about 50 to 70, and we have that. We could see some gusts a little higher than that. Rapid City area, 68 mile per hour gusts that was recorded here at 4:56 this morning. As we go up here in the Isabel area, the Glad Valley, we're talking about 58 mile per hour gusts, and Bison in South Dakota, 63 mile per hour gusts. And you get up into North Dakota, 66 mile per hour gust for you in Henninger. It's a bad hair day. Don't worry about it. It is also Friday, and that's what you need to know. I'll be watching for your comments on here. Thanks for joining. Joe Frankel, Saturday afternoon road from Grand Forks to Fargo. I'll try to get to that right away. Saturday afternoon should be about as good as it's going to be in between systems. Another one coming on Sunday. So road conditions will still have some slippery spots. I'm certain of it. The wind speeds will be much reduced on your Saturday afternoon hours in particular, but it does look breezy in the morning. It's just going to be armpit rubbing cold out there as you go on the road. So that's your quick update. Hey, Dolan, good to have you on board from South Padre. Wow, amazing. Hope you're having a great day. And good morning, Hutch. In Lidgerwood, strong wind, light snow, and some fog ongoing as we go through. That's what's going on there. Let's check those road reports for you real quick so that we get the information you need and a little bit about your day today right away. Number one, Simon, good morning. Good to have you on board. Here is a look at what's going on across the region. These purple areas here are travel alerts, I should say. Red River Valley counties that are purple, the I-94 corridor that is purple, and the Highway 83 corridor on up into the oil patch up here, not far from Williston, but not inclusive of Williston or Watford City. We do have a travel alert there as we go just off to the west of the Minot area, and this is a no travel advised area, south central North Dakota. We're talking Morton County. There's Oliver County down to the south, Grant and Sioux County, no travel advised. What does it look like in these areas? Let's go to it. Hutch's weather can get you the latest, and you can get all of this information right on Hutch's weather app, by the way. I hope you've taken a moment to download it, and for those of you that have, I really appreciate you trusting me with your weather information. Let's go ahead and take a look at what these road reports are showing. So first and foremost, this is what it looks like on Interstate 94, just off to the west of Mandan. We're talking about the New Salem Sioux area out there, and that Sioux is a soldier standing in this wind that's right in Sioux's face. It's coming out of the northwest, and we just have reduced visibility with lofted snow. And you can see the lanes on Interstate 94 are pretty covered up there. So there is a reason they have this no travel advisory. Get down into the southern part of Morton County here in Flasher. Boy, it does look like we've got that road surface there covered on North Dakota 21 as well. So road conditions as you get out towards Bismarck, pretty terrible. Oh boy, we found the snow here in, this is in Sterling. So as we get off to the east of the Bisman area, we're seeing some very terrible conditions there. Zero visibility. You can't even see very far. Of course, it's dark, but that's going to be the case with that band of snow that's making its way through. And here is that no travel advisory on 83 north of town in Bismarck. So as you go on the north side of town here, as you're heading up in that general direction of the Washburn area, you're going to see that we have roads completely covered out there. No travel advised. And look at that, only one lane showing, and it's very glossy looking, so likely icy roads as well. Heading up into the Minot zone, roads are showing up as green. We do have some snow that's working its way through, maybe some haze and fog as well, but it does not look to be as poor of visibility in that particular area. All right, getting up into the Grand Forks area, north toward the border, north of Grand Forks, this is what we see out there on the ground. Some fresh snow, some tire tracks going through it too. Not sure what happened there, but somebody venturing off on the side of the road, as a matter of fact. Now, as we look into Grand Forks, here's what you're seeing on your area conditions right now. We do have no coverage of the interstate there, but a travel alert in place for those periods of blowing that are causing reduced visibility across the area. Thanks again for joining, John. Thanks, Laura, for joining as well. Simon, it's great to have you all here. What's it going to be like at 10 a.m.? A lot of wind and periods of light snow throughout the day will cause areas of zero visibility because the wind is going to be fairly relentless throughout the day. This is your North Dakota road report. Now let's go to Minnesota and check out what's going on there. Are the flakes making it to South Dakota? I'll have that as well. Top of the day to you. I'm here with my cup of coffee, and I'm sipping it right here in my, well, a pretty fitting shovel trouble cup out there, and that's what we have for today. And I got to tell you what, the weather is pretty terrible. We do see in southwest Minnesota, all of the pink counties there have completely covered roads. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom on into this area real quickly, and I'll show you that down here as we get into the oh boy, we're talking about areas south of Russell. Here's a look at the Highway 14 corridor here. Some flakes are flying, and the road completely covered with a glaze. That's likely some ice because there were some warmer temperatures down south out there. So ice and snow falling in these areas. There's flakes definitely showing up. You can tell by the thick white streaks that are going across your lens there, working their way. This is at the Hendricks area. This is Highway 19. And again, anywhere in southwest Minnesota, you're looking at some pretty serious travel conditions. Interstate 94, as you get south of the Fargo-Moorhead area here. Let's go down into the area of, let's go right out here to just out of town. South of the Downer exit, let's take a peek at what that's looking like for you here. Looks like, there it goes. Okay, you can certainly see that it's dark, and you can see in the lights that we have snow and blowing snow out there. So it's very terrible conditions for travelers. Now, here's Highway 10 out by Lake Park. Look at the flakes are horizontal, but the visibility seems to be a little better. We can clearly see right down to the pavement there, but it does look like that road surface is a little on the slippery side out there as temperatures plummet today. We'll go over what those temperatures are here in a second. The wind, the snow are the two most important factors for the day today. As we get to the afternoon tonight and late, it's going to be blowing snow, and it's going to be dangerously cold temperatures. Do you see the colors of purple here? These purple roads, when you go to the legend, I'm going to pop this up here and see if we can see what purple shows. Oh, no travel advisory? What? This doesn't happen every winter event in Minnesota. And I got to tell you what, that purple on these roads here in western parts of the state causing us to be really worried about some of the travel conditions. So I'm going to get right into these areas here. We're talking Grand Forks, Fisher, these areas, no travel is advised out there. Scan around at some of these camera views that we have here just outside of Grand Forks, East Grand Forks, so you can certainly see that we do have periods of reduced visibility out there. No travel is advised as you go up on 75 here and get north of Crookston, south of Crookston, 75. Let's go out here. Check it out, Beltrami. This is what it's looking like there. I'm not sure if that's the road or snowflakes. Those lines look perfectly resemble the centered lane lines that you see there, but that's not what's going on. That is snowflakes aplenty flying through the skies of Polk County out there south of the Crookston area at Highway 9 in the Beltrami area. And that's zero visibility, folks, right there. So we're going to have periods of zero visibility, but it's not going to be a persistent 3, 4, 5 hour stretch of visibility reduction with the snow. So that's probably why we're not seeing a blizzard warning with that specific definition. But we do have very slippery and icy roads showing up all the way along Highway 2 as you get into Detroit Lakes. And you go down 34 out here by Osage. This is what it's looking like for you folks as you approach Park Rapids. If my clicker will clicker. There it is. Well, same thing goes. So we're starting to get the same old song and dance across much of Minnesota right now. Many of these cameras we're checking out have zero visibility out there. So things are rough, things are tumble, and it's definitely one of those winter kind of event days. So now that's Minnesota. A quick peek at South Dakota and Montana. I'm not forgetting about you as well. I've got a notification on here, so let me clear that out of our way, and then we'll get started with a look at what in the world is going on in South Dakota and the eastern part of the state, north central. So we're talking about McLaughlin, Mobridge, all the way out through the Aberdeen area. We have the pink colors there. Now, as you look at what's going on with that color coordination, the scale or the legend, a little bit different for each and every state. So pay attention to that. The pink is basically scattered to covered with snow across the region. And all of, let's say the eastern half has snow troubles with pink on the roads. So that means we definitely have some frost, some ice, some snow, and slippery road conditions all the way along the I-29 corridor. What? Let's go to Sisseton right now and check it for you. Here's what you got. We got flakes of flying. So yes, the radars are not necessarily showing all this because we don't have radars along the interstate everywhere, but we do have cameras, and these cameras help us see. Look at the ice on this Watertown passage here. If you're flying down the interstate with your cruise control on, big mistake, because when you hit that patch of ice, those wheels, they go a spinning, but your car, it goes sideways. And we don't like that. So we want you to stay off the cruise control. If you don't like traveling in weather like this, then just make travel arrangements to just stay home. Sioux Falls, what's going on for you as we get down to your area? We do have traffic aplenty. Look at that area, snowflake on the side of the road there. But the road is reported to be icy and pink, which means that, well, they've had some mist. They've had some fog, and they have some slippery there. So that's a look at South Dakota. Hey, thank you very much, Adam. I sure appreciate you. Best weatherman, Joe Adams in Lidgerwood. Thank you very much for your support, Joe. And thank you for all the pictures over the years that you've shared with me. Get out there and take pictures. Upload them to hutchesweather.com. It's a great way to share what's going on in your neck of the woods for all of us. But we're getting great picture this morning of what's going on across the region. So, okay, now there's Big Sky Country here. Let's go take a look at Hutch's stomping grounds when I was just a wee itty bitty guy. As we go out here in the eastern part of the state, there's only one area of concern, and it's right around my family and friends in Circle, Montana. As we look out here off to the east of Glendive and north, here is a look at the highway corridor there as we try to make this full screen. Folks, it's dark in eastern Montana, so dark that this camera is really not showing me much of anything. I may have to go try to get into a little bit better of an area. Here's Fox Lake. Now we can see some lights on the edge of the road surface there. Clearly we can see the road. There are not nearly as many snowflakes flying in these parts. And even when we get up to the Highway 2 corridor here, this is Bainville. There is some kind of an alert here, and it says from milepost 644 to 667, a blowover warning. What the heck is a blowover warning? If you are driving today a high-profile vehicle, and particularly if you're empty, gusts over 50 to over 70 miles per hour will be likely today. That's going to blow you over. Therefore, in Montana, we call that a blowover warning, and that's something that you got to be advised about. Now, the winds will be ripping out of the northwest today, and that means east-west travelers with high-profile vehicles will really have a battle on their hands when it comes to keeping that high-profile vehicle going straight and down the road. Southeast Montana, you get down south by Ekalaka, one of Hutch's. Well, I got to tell you what, I got family out there too, so I hope you're all doing good out there in southeast Montana. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. There's a look at the road surface. So clearly in Montana, the snowfall isn't as much of a problem as the gusty wind is. Now we go back to a couple pieces of data, and your questions are always welcome here. I'll try to get to them because I know everybody in the morning has places to go, things to do, coffee to drink, and I got to tell you what, so does Hutch. So we'll be busy today with updates right here, and you can always get the latest on hutchesweather.com. Let's go right to my fantastic look at the radar here. Now, this is one more trip around the radar. We've got wind gusts already approaching that 70 mile per hour. I haven't looked at what the peak is out here, but we definitely have some solid wind gusts across western South Dakota, eastern Montana, Glendive. You've got a report out there as well. That little blue tab that we're seeing there is a 61 mile per hour gust, and that ain't going to mess around with your cowboy hat out there. So you're going to want to staple that puppy up to where things go. Make sure you don't lose it and it don't end up somewhere down in Wyoming. That would be a terrible loss. As we take a look out here, 58 mile per hour gust recorded 14 miles east of Glad Valley. So that's the wind. There's periods of snow, but it's focused right around radar sites. The reason that is the radar beams are overshooting the snow. There's likely bands of snow out in the James River Valley as well. That's important to know, because you might be looking at your radar going, this is just a meteorological tool to tell us that it's snowing out there, but in all reality, there's a chance that we do have some areas in here where these bands of snow have set up in between radar sites, radar in Mayville, radar in Bismarck, radar in Aberdeen. Awful crazy while we're seeing snowflakes just around the radar sites, radar in Duluth, radar in Minneapolis. Seeing those places okay, but places that don't have a radar, we can't see the snow. You got some blowing, you got some snowing going on in some of these places, but based on camera coverage, western North Dakota, westernmost North Dakota, and eastern Montana are free of that nonsense. Now, let's get right to a detailed look at that temperature, because we're on a temperature slide today. You can expect the wind to last all day. Periods of snow will be most prevalent in the morning, but there will be a chance for some to return as we go through the day a little bit later. You're at the warmest temperatures you see in many of these communities. Look at this. We got one up here in Belcourt. We got 7 degrees as we sneak on up into Valhalla. As you go up north into Kitson County, we have a lucky 7 up there, but that wind is blowing, so we have wind chills to be concerned about as well. We have 10 in the Detroit Lakes area. We got Bemidji at 19, and for those of you on the I-94 corridor from Rothsay and Fargo, it's 16 degrees. Fergus Falls, same thing. Alex, you're 25 and plummeting. These north winds are going to usher that air in that's cold really quickly. Twin Cities holding on to 30 degrees right now. Brookings, South Dakota, it's 25 ungorgeous degrees. We'll just say it that way. Now, as we take a plot and a look at what's going on with what it feels like on exposed skin, these gusts are hitting the 30 to 40 mile per hour range. We'll plot those up here. The purple air, no good. That is wind chill. We're down in the 20s below up there on the Highway 2 corridor. So as you go out towards Rolla, as you go out towards Devil's Lake, as you get out into the Minot area, 15 to 25 below for wind chills, and it gets even worse than that north of Brandon out there with wind chills that are approaching the 25 below zero category as well. That's just downright cold and dangerous. So a winter survival kit for those of you that do have to travel over the hills and through the woods today, a very good sound piece of advice. Wind gusts across the region are hitting 40 miles per hour here. This is what the models have been showing. How gusty are we going to be? We're 54 right now out there in that Fort Peck, Glasgow area. Look at Rapid City, 71 mile per hour gusts for you here in the Black Hills. And as you get just into Wyoming down here, we're seeing those gusts out there not far from you folks in Gillette. that are around 60 miles per hour. So Sheridan to Gillette, 60 mile per hour gusts showing up right now. Get down to Casper, the friendly community, 33 mile per hour gusts. So those gusts are going to be ripping all day, all night, and even into Saturday morning out in eastern Montana, western parts of North Dakota, and western South Dakota in particular, with those mountains reaching up in the sky, grabbing some of that energy in the upper level winds and mixing it down to the ground. And it is a windy proposition there. Here's a look at Hutch's forecast for this wind. The wind is going to be a problem all day with blowing snow, or BS, as you'll see on my graphics. As we start the day today, temperatures will be falling. Look at that, pretty close to what I forecast last night. 15 and falling as you head out the door at 7 a.m. That's coming up in 8 minutes, and we're at 16 degrees. That was a pretty good forecast. 11 for Grand Forks, but we're colder than that right now. The temperatures are precipitously falling there. 40 mile per hour gusts through the morning hour plus. We'll have some periods and areas where it rips even harder than that. 50 plus mile per hour as confirmed already. We're kissing over 70 miles per hour in the Rapid City area. The winds won't be as strong as we get closer to the low pressure system, which is right now working its way out of northern parts of Minnesota, just north of places like, let's say Thunder Bay, as it's going off to the east. But your wind will increase across Minnesota. If you have trees, it won't get as gusty. We're talking 30 mile per hour range, but as we get out of the trees, it'll be 40 to 50 mile per hour at times in that open country. That includes parts of northwest Minnesota from Roseau County down into Marshall County where there's less trees. You get right down here into the Gary Pines and things are going to be a little bit finer there, but those trees definitely slow the snow blowing. But then it causes the snow to loft onto the roads right on the backside of the trees. You know what I mean. If you've traveled through those tall pines, that's what happens there. And we'll have flakes flying down south, but not nary as much. How much is Hutch talking? Let's start with a look at this. Here's a look at the wind. This morning, gusting over 50 miles per hour to 70 here in the Black Hills. In western parts of North Dakota, we'll have 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts. These little narrow bands are very, very high resolution detail to the fact that we're going to have areas as you're traveling from west to east or east to west, whatever it may be, where these winds will just be exceedingly strong in these narrow bands. It lasts all the way through the midday hour. In fact, it could be optimized or maxed. The strongest winds, eastern Wyoming, we're talking about, Lusk, all the way out towards Gillette and right into the Black Hills down by Hot Springs. As we head into the Fargo area, we're kind of capping those winds in that 40 mile per hour range and a little bit greater. I would not be surprised in the Red River Valley if we hit 50 mile per hour gusts in a few places. Then as we head towards 11 o'clock tonight, still ripping in eastern Montana and the Black Hills, and we'll still have a fair amount of wind kissing 35 to 45 miles per hour heading into the overnight. Saturday, midday and into the afternoon is when I finally expect it to decrease just a bit. Here's a peek at those afternoon conditions. Still the 50 to 70 mile per hour winds, still the BS, blowing snow, folks. And we'll have periods, but not as many widespread areas of snowfall around the area. But we will have the blowing snow. What falls is going to loft and flip around and fly around and really reduce your visibility and keep things icy across the entire region. I'll be here to update your road conditions. Hutch's Weathers app will be here to update your road conditions as we go through the day. Temperatures falling through the single digits for most areas, including Fargo. By the time we get to 3 to 4 p.m., we'll be in those single digits as well. Wind chills in that 20 to 25 below range in places, and it just gets worse from there with regards to that. How about snowfall amounts? I had a trace to 1/2 of an inch to maybe plus an inch in the Fargo area, and that's what I think we're going to get. We could see a little bit more. The models had basically been sticking with kind of a dry slot right here, and then a band of heavy, and then a dry slot, and a band of heavy, and a dry slot. But we see that on the radar. There are these narrow bands that have set up a shop in a few different places. We cannot see on the radar the Devil's Lake Basin. We cannot see what's going on in Jamestown right now on the radar, but there's going to be a chance for some snow. There could be narrow bands that have over 3 or 4 inches of snow in them, and when we add the wind to that, that's going to be some pretty terrible travel. So I've got a 1/2 inch to 2+ inches for much of central North Dakota possible here. Red River Valley a little lower, and then a little increase as we go into northwest Minnesota, upwards of 1 inch to 2 inches for many of you. If you see here, we'll see that 2 to 5 category quickly ramping coming up as we go into the Arrowhead of Minnesota, and the big winners will be in the Arrowhead where we'll have 5 to 10 inches of snow. Are you kidding me? Koochiching County, the Rainy Lake area will be having them snow machines aplenty running, and as you get out here into the Grand Marais area as well, you'll be in that 4 to 7 inch range as well, down toward Duluth, and that's what it looks like. All right, so that's a peek at what's going on right now. If there are any questions I can get for you before you head out the door, we'll go ahead and take a look at that. How much snow for Sunday? That's a great question. I have your answer. I hope you're here, Crazy Corey. Crazy Corey, good to have you on board. Thanks for watching. Would you please hit the subscribe button if you're watching on my YouTube channel? It's growing like crazy, Crazy Corey. And hey, crazy how much it's warmed up last night. That Simon said it is crazy how much it warmed up. We went from single digits and teens last night in much of Minnesota, and shazam, temperatures have been rising with a more southeast westerly flow across much of Minnesota today. So how about Sunday? Let's get to the answer on that. Sunday's round of snow after a break on Saturday. It will be still breezy, to say the least, on the early hours of Saturday. There will be slippery roads on Saturday. It will be cold on Saturday. Then late Saturday in the night hours, evening and night hours, a batch of snow and another clipper will clip the area. Red River Valley and parts of Minnesota, a trace to maybe a 1/2 of an inch across western and central parts of North Dakota. Once you cross into the Devil's Lake Basin, the James and Cheyenne River Valleys, and here into the Red River Valley of the north, a 1/2 inch to an inch doesn't sound like a lot, but once again, we're in very gusty winds in excess of 40 to 45 miles per hour once again. So more travel trickery on Sunday. So Saturday late into Sunday, lasting for a good portion of Sunday, will be the wind. Now, as you get up again into this same area here, Roseau County, Lake of the Woods County, Koochiching County, straight down into, St. Louis County, right into Duluth here, we're going to see that good chance of 1 to 3 inches or more of snow, more in bands, particularly, once again, around the Rainy Lake area. And when you add the 5 to 10 plus the 1 to 3, what's that give you? 6 to 13 inches of snow by the time we get out of the weekend up there in the Arrowhead of Minnesota. Winter is back. That's what the graphic said that we started with. Hey, yeah, it's winter again. We're going to make the best of it together. So let me see if I have any questions for you I can answer. I hope that helps you, and thank you for watching. 6 to 13, says Simon, and you're right on. That math is awesome. Lucille watching from Benson. Great to have you on in Benson, Minnesota. Hey, there's some crazy travel in western Minnesota. No travel advisories going there as we review some of this information. In northwest parts of Minnesota and in your area, in the Morris Benson area, we do have some areas with some completely covered roads, and we saw pretty flaky conditions on the sky cams out there from our DOTs. Roads be okay this afternoon in Grand Forks to Fargo. It's going to be very windy. The snowfall should be periodic. It's not going to be persistent all day. So there's going to be periods of zero visibility. And we have a travel alert in the Red River Valley, Kara, just so you know. This type of condition is going to last today. Sustained winds 26 with a 1/4 inch of snow now in West Fargo. Thank you for your report, Bill. I got a touch more snow here in South Moorhead. I measured 7/10 of an inch. However, it's very difficult to measure. So I give that to all of us. And any measurement is better than no measurement. We're getting snow on the roof. It blows off and it's in the corners. So what I have areas with no snow on the ground, and I have areas with a lot. So you take the average and then you try to get several places. You know how it's done. So I'm encouraging all of you to share your reports when you can. Let's see. Spark Fuzz 1177. Absolutely stay off the roads if you're out of town. It's like the light comes out. I'm in Horace, and it was one of the scariest drives of my life. Well, Spark Fuzz, I'll tell you what, I'm glad you made it safely, and it's sound advice that if you don't like driving and this kind of stuff, that's great. Stay home. If you think that you've done this before, we all have here in the upper Midwest. It's out in our blood. We've been through winters before. The problem is you're going to hit those areas of zero visibility, so you got to slow down. And it can be so bad that you can't see the road or the lanes, or if your vehicle's even on the road. I've been there and I have done that. And all you can do is go as slow as you can and do your best to make out where the side markers are. And it ends up being a situation where in some cases for brief periods of time, you're just following the taillights of the vehicle in front of you. So hopefully they're keeping it on the road and between the lines. Good morning, Lynn. Good to have you on board, Kara. Watching from Deer River says, John, thanks. Good to have you on. When will this all end? Let's go to the forecast model and the latest one. Okay, so that's a great question. I didn't do the forecast model. I just showed you my forecast for the day. Loading her up right now. And Shazam. Okay, so you asked a question. I've got all the tools in my toolbox right here. This is a look at the first few outputs of the morning model run. I don't care if you watch somebody at 4 in the morning or 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning. This is the latest stuff. And it won't come out any faster than this. So this is a look at the first few hours of output of this model. Okay, so this only takes us into noon. So let's go through this. This is a brand spanking new forecast model run. You're seeing a band of snow down here in the in the Sisseton Hills and central parts of South Dakota from that Mobridge area right down in towards you folks in Chamberlain. As we go in towards the mid-morning hours around 10 o'clock, most of the snow chances on this model exit into Lakes Country, Minnesota, Otter Tail, Morris, Benson, straight down in towards Alex and south. Okay, so keep that in mind. There'll be some snow showers there. The isobars are very tight out in the west. As we told you, the wind's going to gust there all day. We might get a little bit of break in some of the gustiest of the winds, but we're right back at it in the latter part of the day. Now I'm going to go to a model run that'll take me out just a little bit farther. The last model run of these high resolution models that go out any particular useful amount of time, like into tomorrow, happened last night. Okay, so I mean the model data hasn't changed that much. Here we go. We see that the snowfall in Manitoba, as we go into Thunder Bay in Ontario, we're seeing that snow will last a better part of the day. We'll just have Minneapolis, St. Paul seeing the snow showers through the midday hours and on, and then our snowfall chances do decrease on this model. I'm going to load up this one, but this one was run last night. This one has done a real good job over the last few, and I'm going to pull out the Canadian model here because you know what? This one's done real good. Check this out. Does this look like a different picture to you? You betcha. Okay, this model from the Canadian model has a little bit more snow out in western North Dakota, but it's not showing up there. I think it's a little bit farther to the east for Bismarck, right? That's where we're seeing that snow. But this is absolutely out there. We have that band that's making its way through Fargo and parts of eastern North Dakota. It's out there. So this model is off to a pretty good start as we went through the night. Now, by the time we get to that morning to midday hour, this model shows most of the snowfall is gone. So the snowfall should be decreasing as far as how much is going on out there. Bill says we've got upwards of a couple tenths of an inch of snow. And here in Moorhead, I measured about 7/10 of an inch of snow. And the wind is blowing and gusting to near 40 miles per hour here in the valley. And it's going to be blowing snow that we contend with throughout the day. So that's your hour by hour forecast with regards to the snowfall. The temperatures are going to be ridiculous. And if we take a look at the wind chills on these models, these are wind gusts. So let's look at the wind gusts here in the latest model data. So this Canadian model here has ripping winds to 70 miles per hour right over the area out here as we look into parts of South Dakota. And then central North Dakota seeing greater winds, 40 to 50 miles per hour there. 35 to 45 mile per hour gusts throughout the day in the valley, according to this model, with periods of higher winds likely. 6 to 13 inches of snow. Yep, thank you very much, Simon. I'll take the winter weather. A lot of us have been short of winter weather. I've heard from a few people in Jamestown that would like a little bit more. It looks like this storm system is not necessarily going to be a bullseye for you. Another chance as we go into Sunday, but that looks to be focusing on the Red River Valley as well. Lane, thanks for watching. Hello from Arizona. All clear here. Hey, good to hear from you. And that does not surprise me that Arizona is well, enjoying the sand and the sun. All right, that's what's going on. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Travel with care today. On the road reports, as we review everything that we've talked about in a quick rundown. North Dakota and Minnesota have areas of no travel advisories. There's been an expansion of the travel alert. Now, all of eastern North Dakota in purple in a travel alert for areas of blowing snow, reduced visibility, and some icy road conditions. There's green road conditions, meaning we got very little snow accumulation in the Minot zone up to Botno. Not as much snow in that particular area, but they go just a little bit to the west and they've got icy roads. We have a no travel advisory. This is for Oliver County in and around center North Dakota. From Mandan all the way through New Salem, Sioux, and all the way out here as we get into Stark County, that is a no travel advisory. Grant, Sioux, and Emmons County for you folks in Hazleton, in Moffett, in Braddock, all the way down to the South Dakota border. No travel advised right there on Interstate 94. The farther west you get, the stronger the wind gusts will be throughout the day. So for those of you traveling in high-profile vehicles, western North Dakota, eastern Montana, western South Dakota, and Wyoming in the eastern and northern parts will see gusts to 70 plus miles per hour today. And there is what they call a tip over warning. Well, you know what that means. Tractor trailer drivers gotta be careful. That north wind is going to be a ripping today. A quick peek at South Dakota, icy in the northern portion, icy on the I-29 and eastern half of the state with some frost and some ice and some freezing drizzle. When you get through Watertown, it's extremely icy there. South, not as much coverage on the road, but the report is still slippery. And Minnesota has no travel advisories. This doesn't happen with every event. There are purple roads here, and these are all areas where we got no travel advised. You're looking at that Highway 75 corridor up the northwest part of the state. Down in the southwest part of the state, a sizable area in around Montevideo and on the I-90 corridor has complete coverage of snow and ice. As you go up into the blue areas, that is partial coverage of ice and snow. And we have shots or little segments with complete coverage. As we look into Highway 10 in and around the Detroit Lakes area, Highway 34 going out to you folks in Hubbard County, also seeing some very slippery conditions. And I-94 has areas that are also in that no travel advisory. It looks like purple to me. No, that's blue with visibility issues. So the colors there. So the blue with the polka dots on this map, where you see the polka dots right here, I'll show them to you. What do the polka dots mean? You can kind of see them showing up right here on the western side of the map. Those polka dots mean reduced visibility. The more polka dots you see, the lower the visibility. We're talking a quarter mile or less. Felton on Highway 9, getting down to I-94, same thing goes. So as you get to the Downer exit, as you're leaving the the Fargo area, heading into the Downer exit, look at this. Snow fog, blowing snow, and reduced visibility, and it's a quarter mile or less along much of this stretch at times. Lake Park, yep, you got flakes flying as well. So roads showing that, radar showing that we have batches or bands, narrow bands of heavier snow. Nothing super heavy. We're talking about an inch to isolated places picking up upwards of 2, maybe 3 inches of snow the way it looks. Thank you so much. Have a safe day out there. I will be back with updates a little bit later. The one thing I do want to impress on you, if you haven't seen me a lot lately, I've launched a brand spanking new weather app, and you can head to my website anytime, anywhere, hutchesweather.com, and there are links to the app right there. But essentially, search Hutch's Weather in the App Store. Would you download it today? Keep it with you. I think it is the best app at keeping everything you need at your fingertips right here, including the road reports we've just gone over. It's on the website right here. Here's where you can download the app right here. You click on that, it'll give you links. So if you have an Apple product, it's there for you. And you know what? We got you covered, Android users. It's there for you as well. The road conditions are right here. You can pick any state or province in the region. It's right here on the app. The radar's right here on the app. The trip to Norway has been updated, and a quick note to all of you here and my morning friends is Hutch is going to Norway in August, and I would love to have you join me. We have a Norwegian tour guide that is going to show us around Oslo, Bergen, and Trondheim, a fjord tour, if you will, and it's not a Ford tour. Don't get I don't know my fjord language very well, but that's what we're going to see. and I'd love to have you come along. And my friends over at Brecky Tour and Travel have extended the $100 discount into February for those that sign up. Reserve your spot today. Find out more information by clicking on this. Let's go to my app. Once you download it, you're going to find some really good things on there. And I'd love to have you know the tools. So I'll go over a couple of little hints for you on here as we get you out the door. And I know many of you are probably getting ready to get on your way out. Oh, I got to load up my app here. Just one second. Okay, didn't have enough coffee. 67-mile-per-hour gust at beach. Whew, that's pretty heavy. Here's Hutch's weather app. There is a look at the winter weather advisory for all of central, eastern North Dakota, all of western Minnesota, straight down into northwest Iowa, all the way through eastern South Dakota, from Pierre and Chamberlain right into Sioux Falls, Watertown, Aberdeen, Minot, Grand Forks, and as well as Rosa. We have Badette straight down into Park Rapids, Wadena County, Todd County, it looks like, Minnesota, all in this together. Now, you can take a look at the radar. You can zoom it in by pinching your fingers and just kind of going like this, whoop, 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 whoop. Okay. You can plot other things on here, but I did want to point out that if you go back to the home screen on the menu, you can watch my latest videos. That's a bonus. I'm going to keep you updated on the app. You can look at hour-by-hour forecasts right here for your area, including wind gust potential. So if we go into this section and go to the hourly forecast for your area, if you allow the phone to follow you and then you allow Hutch's weather app to follow you, we see that the chance of snow decreases. And by the time we go to noon, the chance of snow is 20 to 30%. So we will have periods of snow, but it's not a great chance of widespread snow. It's going to be these little narrow bands. That's what 20% means. It's more about aerial coverage of snow than it is about a chance of snow, if that makes sense. So keep that in mind. You can see the wind speed. This is the sustained wind speed. Hutch, what about the gusts? It's here. All you got to do is push this little down arrow at any time you want to check the gusts. I'm going to try to travel to Fargo. So you type in Moorhead or Fargo into this. It'll give you the Fargo, and you want to see what the wind speed is doing around noon. We just find the noon. We click that down arrow, and you scroll, and you're going to see, gusts to around 40 miles per hour in Fargo at the noon hour. Still gusty, but the snow chance reduces. Still slippery. I wonder if the roads will be good then. Where can I check that? Oh, right here on the app. So if we go back and swipe, you can basically get to your road report. It's right here. This is called Radar Plus because when you click on this, it's not just radar data you can access. You can access the latest alerts from the Weather Service. And Hutch's app is the only app right here. And I love it because of all the tools in one place, but it's the only app to provide you alerts to twisting storms in the summer. When lightning is approaching, it's going to let you know when it's within 15 miles of your outdoor event. When rain is approaching, and I got a notification this morning that snow was approaching. Did it work for you? Let others know. Jerica, thank you for going to download it. My husband did and said it's great. Thank you so very much for the kind words. I really appreciate it, Jerica. Does the storm last all weekend? No. Jerica, this is going to be a today event, but it's going to be all-day wind, periods of snow, periods of zero visibility, and blowing snow all day long. Into the overnight hours, the wind gradually reduces from the far west to east. And we get a little bit of a break from this on Saturday. Saturday, we'll have icy roads. There'll still be some blowing snow with 20-mile-per-hour winds, but not like we're having today. And then Sunday comes, and by the morning hours, we're going to have another event like we're seeing today. Could be heavier snow for some areas because of the track it's taken, but we'll keep you apprised of that. So get your road reports right here on the road report page brought to you by my friends at OK Tire. Now, I want to share with you, it's not just the road reports. Oh, looky there. It's telling you right on the app that I'm live right now. Check the app. I'll send you a notification. Did you get my notification this morning? I sent it and said at 6:33 I'm going live, and that's when we went live. And you can go right to the app and watch me no matter where you are if I'm going live. And I will send that notification to you when I am going live if I remember, but I will. Here's all the states you can check road conditions on. So if you're traveling on that long distance road trip in the region, oh, there's your no travel advisory in red right there. All these purples, that's purple counties that are filled. Those are travel alerts. Those are places where you got to think twice before you venture out on your trip. Not only that, if you scroll down to the bottom of this page, just go down a little bit, It's the snow accumulation forecast. And this map, you can zoom to your area, whether you're traveling in Iowa or Florida, to see if it's going to snow there. So we'll take the USA view. You got to press the play button, and then it's going to fill this in for a 24-hour forecast from one model. I admit this right out to you. There's not one model that ever gets it right every time, including Hutch's weather app. But that's why I'm here, to show you the radar, to tell you where things are the worst. I know the terrain. I know the region. I'm going to tell you. If you're hearing things online and it says, oh, there's a big storm coming next week on Friday, then check with Hutch. I'll have the skinny on that. Look at this. The eastern portion of the United States is getting slobber-knockered from this storm system, the Dakotas, Minnesota, down to northern Iowa mainly. And where we see this, it's not super-duper heavy snow in all places, but if you take a look at the Appalachia area here, oh, they're going to get ripped. And also, lake effect snow from cold north winds coming down means northern and upstate New York, that Rochester, Buffalo area in the next 24 hours are going to get some very heavy snow that extends into the New England states. This is a pretty widespread storm. And by the way, if we want to take another look at this, the cold air is going to spread all the way to the deep south, folks, and they could have a chance of some snow as we go through the next few days. Thank you much. It looks like Lady of Obsession, Gary, Indiana, Kalamazoo, Michigan, Lansing, Michigan, Interstate 9469, Great Lakes, please. Well, let's take a look. We just showed you this on the weather app. If you have Hutch's weather app, you zoom right in. And okay, when you get to the western side of Michigan, okay, and if you're out here in that Grand Rapids area or on that Lake Michigan area, you're going to see an increased amount of snowfall there thanks to that lake effect snow. You'll have northwest winds fetching additional moisture and energy and lift, and that's what causes this area here as we go into areas from Lansing, Saginaw, and west as you get right there on the shore. So Muskegon, you're going to have heavy snow potential there. The dark blue, what does it mean? We'll look at the scale down here, and it's over 4 inches to about 7 inches of snow. So that's close to warning material, and it will be quite windy as well. You can use the tools on the app to look at the wind on your hour-by-hour forecast for your area as well. This entire area in the next 24 hours is going to become winter wonderland with wind and snow, gusts upwards of 30 miles per hour plus, and there will also be some changes to your forecast in your local area, but this gives you an idea of what you're traveling through and what's going on in your neck of the woods. Now, as you go ahead and take a look at this Ohio River Valley, oh my goodness, Kentucky, you got some healthy snowfall in the elevated terrain out there in the eastern part of the state. So that's a look at Hutch's weather app and the snow accumulation forecast on the bottom of the page. Other questions, Elizabeth says, love it. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. And Caveman Jerome, low 30s in St. Paul. Hutch moving to potato country, Norman County next month. Well, I got to tell you what, Caveman, we're going to welcome you here. There's a little bit more open country here, as you know. I don't know if you've been here before, and the weather can be dramatically different. We call those microclimates across the United States, and we'll have areas that have heavier snow bands and all kinds of stuff. My phone just flipped on me, so it flipped on your screen. So yeah, and because there's fewer trees in areas here, we do have areas of very thick tree coverage, but where there are no trees, particularly in North Dakota, that wind really likes to buck. And it's bucking today. Thanks so much for watching, and welcome to the Red River Valley and western Minnesota. All right, potato country indeed. That's why our high school team is called the Spuds here in Moorhead. And their mascot is a potato with legs and arms. Go Spuds. Off to a great start this hockey season. Watching you. All right. Lake of Fire, my advice always, if you don't have to drive or don't have to be somewhere, stay where you are. If you happen to get stranded, or if you can't see and you slow down on the road, somebody might hit you from behind because they think they can see for 2 miles. You can't. You've got to slow down. Give distance between you and that car in front of you. Take the cruise control off. Turn your lights on manually, please. Don't rely on that little dash bubble to sense that you're dark enough, because it may turn your lights off when you get to a period of light, and then boom, you're in the dark and people can't see you coming. So that's what we want to advise you to do. We could have problems with those winds causing trucks and semis to tip over. Zero visibility reported by Spark Fuzz. Multiple cars in the ditch on Highway 14. Thank you very much for your report. Let's see, we got Spark Fuzz, absolutely stay off the roads. Horace, Avoid County 14 for sure. So yeah, you get down south of Fargo there, that sounds like we got some trouble, and we did look at those DOT cams. You can do that here too. Here's a pro tip. If you go to the menu and you do go to the road reports page, we're going to reload this puppy back up. So here we go. In North Dakota's road page, when it opens up automatically, there's no cameras here. The pro tip is go to the menu here, okay, and you open that menu. Down here, you're going to have a toggle for the cameras. You can turn the cameras on. Okay, and if you scroll down just a little bit more, there's a weather bar. You can turn the radar on that's loaded up from the DOT page as well and see what it's showing you, so you have access to it on this page as well. When you're done turning the cameras on, hit this X. That's how you get back to the map. That closes the legend. And now you've got all these camera icons. Zoom into your area of concern. Let's go down and take a look. Now, I don't have a lot of cameras on Highway 14, but let's get all the way down to Foreman on Highway 11. And yeah, we got flakes flying, but we can see the road down there. So you didn't have one of the heavier bands move over the Foreman area this morning. We'll X out of this and go look at another path along our path. That's how you use it. Allison says the Huskies are loving the new snow. Pedro didn't think so. He took care of business right quick this morning. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. It's going to be a cold day. It's going to be very windy all day long. The farther west you go, the more your hair is going to struggle. And that's why Hutch recommends North Dakota Super Duper Hold Hairspray. It's in participating vendors near you. Or maybe not. But it will come in handy to keep your follicles from being assaulted by winds as such. Maybe I'll have to offer cans of that on my website and shop. You can support Hutch online. Thank you for supporting me here. Have a wonderful day. I'll be back with updates later. For now, we're going to leave you with a little music, and let me know in the comments section where you watched from today. Let me know if you have the app, and let me know if you like this weather. Thanks for watching.
This has been a Hutch's Weather Update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Wait, you forgot the new app. You're right, I did. Don't forget to download our new app. Oh, now let's rock. Thanks for watching.